Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a fantastic week. Friday has arrived and the weekend is upon us, so I hope you guys have got some nice things planned ahead. Today we're going to be giving a general outlook on the cryptocurrency market space. We're going to be diving into Bitcoin, looking at the 4-year cycle theory, looking at the lengthening cycle theory, what's previously driven the Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory, and why this isn't going to change, but what has changed is the market conditions. You know, a lot has gone on in the past year, and crypto is far more of an established asset class, far more of an established market, and I believe it still has a long way to go. We're also going to be diving into the total, which is the total money within the crypto space, Cardano and Ethereum. And I really want to highlight and really say this from the outset and throughout, I'm nothing but bullish. I think when we look at crypto as a whole in terms of market cap, $2.1 trillion, we keep bringing this up and we're going to bring it up until it actually sinks in. Apple is only a $3 trillion market cap. That is 1.5 times our entire market. Cryptocurrencies are going to play a substantial role in the future that we are moving towards. If you want proof of that, go and look at what governments are doing around the world. Go and look at what banks are doing around the world in relation to their CBDCs. The World Economic Forum actually released a report on that yesterday, which I read. You know, it's not just currency that blockchain is impacting, it's all sectors. And in terms, just like the internet, and we brought up the congressional hearing, and we're going to bring it up time and time again because it really gave us a glimpse of what the future looks like. Web3, the next internet, the next technological revolution, that is at hand, guys. And when the price drops, people lose interest. It's very hard for me to lose interest in something that I think is going to change the world in such a substantial way. And that's why we're here day in, day out, making these videos, because hopefully some people get the message. And I want to point something out. People lose interest when the price does this. How many people wish, take it off log, to really emphasize this, that they didn't lose interest in 2018, 2019 and 2020. That is where the majority of my money from cryptocurrencies came from. Understanding what is actually taking place here and sticking with the program, in the hopes, in the admiration that crypto actually gets adopted. And this is what we're looking at. We're looking at a technology that is very early in its adoption curve. We're seeing lots of the same conditions as previous technological. Even the car, for example, when the car first came out, it was very much shunned and booed, and you know, this kind of illicit thing. You know, all technological revolutions go through these kind of cycles. So that's a really good opening statement, I think, to start with. Let's take a look at crypto, where it is today and where we think it's going and what the outlook possibly could be. Lots of people calling for a bear market. I think that some people are just calling for it because of the prolonged sort of choppy sideways action. Certainly for something like Cardano, which has seen a 61%, nearly plus 61% price movement down over the past sort of 3 months. Let me point out that this actually isn't unfamiliar for Cardano. I mean, it's really not. Over here, we had a 61%. So, you know, something like Ethereum, people calling for a bear market. I mean, look at where Ethereum is. And remember, these are all logarithmic daily charts, so they look a little bit better than what perhaps it would on a normal chart. So that's really what we're going to talk about. Are we in a bear market? I would argue we're not. I would argue we're in a downtrending market, certainly in the short term, because Bitcoin, since this sell-off, has actually gone on to make a higher high. And what you'll see, which has just come up on the charts, is what I think plays out for Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is going to continue. I think the reason being is because we are a lot earlier than I think people give it credence for. So far today, we've been following something called the Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory. This is something I've been talking about on this channel since the start of it. It's a video I made saying Bitcoin going to 100k in 2021. We gave this prediction a year and a couple of months ago. We hadn't even entered 2021, and we said, look, you're going to follow a similar trajectory to 2017 or prior to that 2013. And we have done that, ladies and gentlemen, certainly when you take it off log. But we're now taking a different approach to how we end and go into the next 4-year cycle theory, where typically at the end of the 4-year cycle theories, and there's only really ever been one exact 4-year cycle theory, and we do actually believe that cycles are lengthening. And you can see here what I've done is I've took previous cycles and I've started them from where ours started and show you that the length of time is growing between cycle tops, and we're actually following that. So there's a number of technical and fundamental reasons why I think we go into next year, why I think crypto as a whole takes a different kind of moves away from this kind of boom and bust every 4 years, which is really tethered around the halving that takes place within Bitcoin. But what's really changed, and a lot of the price predictions that we had were based on the fact that we were going to end the year in a similar fashion to 2017 and 2013 as we'd done it 2 years prior. That hasn't happened. It would have been too good to be true if it had. You know, nobody really told you that making money in crypto was easy. It's certainly easier than a lot of other things out there because you're early and you've got a kind of huge advantage with that people need to take advantage of. But we haven't seen that. And this is what I think we are now following. I think we're following the trend over the past 3 prior cycles where the time period is lengthening. Now, we are still going to get halving every 4 years, and this ultimately, you can see what happens after these green lines are where the halving takes place. We get that kind of price adjustment due to the supply being deflated. And obviously, another thing to remember is what happened in March 2020. This was a huge inflationary event. If you divide the BTC price by the M2 money supply, we're a lot further down than we are. And this was actually a retest of the prior high. So there's so many external factors that have shaped the new market that we're in. We have to adjust to that accordingly. So what does that mean, I think, is to come? Well, I think we continue in an uptrending market with regular pullbacks. I think we take more of a Apple, more of a Microsoft, more of a tech stock growth pattern from here on out. I think we continue with frequent sort of pullbacks, what you may call mini and bear markets. And people often get confused. When I say we're in a bull market, I'm talking about macro. So crypto full stop. Let's get our long chart. This is an uptrending bull market that just sees on a macro timescale higher highs and higher lows. Within that, you have bear markets and bull markets on a smaller time frame. So when I'm talking about the bull market that we're currently in, I'm talking predominantly about this. Now, some people would class this as when we started the bull market, with this being the low that they're calling for and this being the start of it. There is that, but one reason that I sort of use March 2020 as a landmark is because your altcoins actually, quite a few of them actually sold off below where Bitcoin had potentially found its bottom or had found its bottom in this 4-year cycle theory. So I think we continue ultimately, and I think we take where the space is now. We're at the precipice of adoption. We're at the very cusp of real adoption taking place. Think about what's took place this year. Think about all the groundwork that's been put in, whether that be regulatory, whether that be financially, whether that be politically, and think about all the partnerships that have took place in this year. They don't go away. They continue into next year. And this, there's technical evidence to suggest that we're going to go into next year. Fundamental evidence is one of the strongest things to go by. Is this technology going to change the world? Okay, well, if it is, what's that going to look like? What's that adoption curve going to look like? And that value proposition is still here. And I absolutely must remind people that when the price is down is often the best time to buy it. In fact, it is. People only seem to care about crypto when the price is making new all-time highs. It's when it's selling off that you want to be taking those advantages. Dollar cost averaging is a fantastic strategy for the crypto space, but the main reason for this video is to give you an outlook, and this is what we think essentially you're looking at for Bitcoin. Something similar to that in the same way that you did it over here. And you can even see there's a lot of similarity between this recovery structure and this one. And you can see that you're playing a similar thing out. So we would be wrong if you invalidate this and then go on, especially this low here at the 30Ks, then you are entering a prolonged bear market. There's lots of reasons to suggest that that's not going to happen, so on and so forth. So continuation is what I think occurs. I think we follow the trend for the previous cycles, and we maybe come up and do something like this before having a correction, and then seeing continuation, more of a shorter drawn out correction that sees more continuation with a new round of people coming into the markets. But markets right now are low volume, very little interest. And that's really, it explains a lot. Google searches or Google Trends is fantastic to kind of gauge how popular a topic is. So the total two, I mean, the total two looks even less in bear market territory than a lot of the other charts. You know, you're around about 29, 28% down from your all-time high. Remember that this is crypto and this is how these things play out. Cardano, we've done a lot of analysis on. You guys know I can't be anything but a perma bull on ADA. You know, I'm so impressed with this project. I'm so impressed and excited for what's around the corner. I think this is a blockchain that's done it right. And I think they're going to do very, very well. And I think this 3 months has been brutal. I don't think it's unsimilar to what took place over here, or this is something that I think you're having. We're not actually seeing anything particular, certainly on the short term, out of the ordinary for what a bull market would typically do within crypto, which is such a small market cap asset. So I still anticipate, and you guys know, DeFi is around the corner for Cardano. What do you think that does to the underlying network and the underlying token? We've done plenty of in-depth videos about that. Ethereum is even holding up even better, guys. Around about 21%. That does not look like a bear market to me. And how can it be a bear market when you've gone on to put a new all-time high? Are we going to call every single pullback a bear market? You know, for Bitcoin, for example, what warrants a bear market? I mean, that is a prolonged period of downtrend, but you're not continuously downtrending. So I think when you're using the word bear and bull market, you need to actually, and I certainly need to do this, be a little bit more specific about what time frames you're talking about. But ultimately, I think crypto is in a bull on this sort of a bull run time frame. And I think certainly when we talk about macro, you know, this is a technology that is so early in its adoption curve and has so much to come into the future. Not just Bitcoin, crypto as a whole. The reason we use Bitcoin is, of course, because altcoins follow it. And one thing that we have seen is more retail interaction with altcoins because the space is more advanced, the space is more knowledgeable, there's more awareness of crypto. You know, I can't emphasize how much I'm bullish on crypto. And I understand the frustration when the price slides down, when we have prolonged periods of downturn. But in hindsight, I think these are all going to be fantastic buying opportunities. And I think dollar cost averaging is a real tried and proven method that works, certainly in something that is as early as crypto is in its adoption curve. So that is really all I have for you in this video. Just a brief outlook. We are going to do, and if you guys would like more videos of this sort of caliber, we will do more of these videos where we give our general overview of what's taking place. I think it's important to release videos like this every once in a while, certainly given the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that's gripping this market. Hang in there, guys. I'll be totally transparent with you. I haven't sold a single crypto to date that is in my hodl pot. Yes, I do have some very short-term trades, but my things like Bitcoin, Cardano, Ethereum, CHAINLINK, you name it, there's around about 43 cryptos I own in total. They're getting held into the future because I know we're so early and I understand really what's to come. That is all I have for you in the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch you all in the next YouTube video.